my friends. I hope you're doing well. Today, we will be playing Coffee Roaster. This is a press your luck style puzzle game where we will be strategically roasting beans to achieve the perfect cup of coffee. It has been a while since I have played this game, so I will be refamiliarizing myself with its rules. I hope you will find the sounds relaxing. Let's go ahead and take a look inside the box. Here we have the rule book. Which I will refer to later. Here is our coffee cup. Where we will place our final beans into the cup. Here we have, I believe, a turn counter at the top that will increase as we roast our beans. This is two-sided. One side is easier than the other, as indicated by the weight icon on the side. The standard difficulty is the 2 weights. Ooh. And here is our main board. Again, it is two-sided. And so we have to make sure this board matches the turn counter. Next we have this bag. In this bag we have our scorecard, which has many copies. And these can tear off so you can play new games. We also have in the bag this envelope. Inside we will find the cups of coffee we are to brew. Let's take a look at this first one. On the top, we have a number, which indicates the difficulty of the cup. This cup is the Sao Paulo from Brazil, and you can see that's where it originates. Each card has some history about the coffee. And on the gameplay side, we have the required tokens we will add to our bag to begin the game, as well as the required score we need to get the highest stars. So we need a roast score of 14 to get the highest score. Maybe we'll start with this cup. And I'll go through some of these. It's a Cuban coffee here, the Sierra Maestra. The Altura Oaxaca. That one I cannot pronounce. Here we have some level 2 difficulty cups. This one hailing from Tanzania. Let's see some of these 3-star difficulties. Kenya. A dark roast. It seems also each one has a label as well as the top number. Here is an expert cup. Here is a moderate cup from India. I don't believe I got to those darker roasts the last time I played. Here seems to be a reference card that is the same on both sides. Okay. Now what's left in the box are the tokens we will use to roast our beans and then to play the game. Inside we have beans. I believe these are hard beans. Or unroasted beans, perhaps. And beans with values of 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. If we are to over roast a bean, it becomes burnt, which is bad for the cup of coffee. We also have these bad beans and these smoke tokens, all of which will be no good for the coffee. Here we have our moisture tokens that each cup will begin with, as well as various flavor tokens in 3 colors, each representing different flavor profiles of our coffee. There is also a wild token, here it is, I seem to have lost it, that we can use as any of the 3 colors. The last section here has some various modifiers that we will be attempting to collect as we play. Okay, since we have this card out here, this will be the cup we will try to make, the Sao Paulo from Brazil. Now it says we need 13 zero beans, 3 moisture tokens, 1 of these bad beans, and 3 of these unroasted beans, as well as these flavor tokens. So let's see how we set up the board and make sure I remember how to play. We need to mix the 5 square cup effect tokens down on the table. So let's do that. So we need to shuffle these. And since it's our first time, it's okay if we don't do a great job shuffling. Here we have our tray icon. And this guy, which I believe lets us trade tokens from our cup later on, which is nice. A 3 bean. A 2 times token, as well as our honey token. Okay. Now we do need to place these red counters on our board. This cube will help us keep track of our total roast value, if I remember correctly. And this will be placed on the board depending on where we need to start on the cup. Okay. We also need to place the wild token on the board. We can acquire that token by placing a 0 and a 1 bean on this board, and then we can claim that token. We also need to put the smoke tokens where they belong. One, 2, 3, and 2 go here. As we complete turns in the game, we will move up this counter. When we hit 10, we must collect those smoke tokens, which can be dangerous for the cup. Okay, this is the setup. And now we are selecting our cup of coffee. And we will need to collect our tokens. So we need 13 of these zeros. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that was close, 13. We also need 3 moisture tokens. 1, 2, 3. Let me see what this bean is called. Sure, it will tell me. They are defective beans. Okay. So, we need 1 defective bean. And we also need 3 hard beans. These beans. And 3. Next, we need to add our flavor tokens. We need 2 red tokens. These are body tokens. To add body to our coffee, we need 2 green tokens. These represent acidity in our coffee. And we need 3 blue tokens. These represent aroma. Okay. Our card here states we need to place our round token on the 8th space. Here. Okay. Next thing we need to do is place our tokens in our cloth bag. All of these will go into our bag. And we'll do it off camera here. Okay. All of our tokens are in our bag, ready to be played. So, we will be conducting phase 1, where we will roast our beans. In the first phase, the roasting takes place in several roasting rounds, during which you draw tokens out of the cloth bag. Bean tokens are roasted, and you can use various effects to influence the roasting. Okay. So, let's see. Step 1 is to increase the temperature. The thermostat also acts as your gauge for the round. It determines how many tokens are drawn, to what level the coffee beans are being roasted, and whether additional smoke tokens have to be put into the bag. So we ignore this since we just started the game, but in the next round we will increase the temperature. The thermostat indicates the number of tokens to draw out of the cloth bag for the current roasting round. First, mix the contents of the cloth bag thoroughly, then draw the required number of tokens and lay them out in front of you. You may not look into the bag. Okay. Let's do it and see if my memory of how to play will help. I'm just gonna shuffle these around. And we are to draw 8 tokens. Actually, before I do that, let me make some space. I'm feeling a little cramped. Okay. We are to draw 8 tokens. So let's see. We have a blue token. A 0 bean. A moisture token. An acidity token. Another 0. That makes 5. Here's another acidity token. A 0. So far we've done 7. This makes 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. If there are moisture tokens among the tokens you have drawn, remove these from the game. Okay. I'm going to put it right over here on our card. And let's see. Use tokens for effects. It is up to you whether to use effects currently available or not. So we have here on the board immediate effects and cup effects. So we can use this moment here to use immediate effects. The immediate effects here are these icons, as well as the wild token. And so we have a few flavor tokens here we can choose to play to get their effects. So let's see what those effects are. I believe the book will tell us. Here we go. This icon gives us 2 additional tokens from the bag. This icon lets us exchange 2 tokens with the bag. Tokens we've already drawn go back in, and we take 2 more out. This icon lets us draw 5 additional tokens, and we can select 2 out of those 5 and immediately remove them from the game. That's nice, so we could use that to get rid of smoke tokens or bad beans. We can also remove tokens we've already drawn. That's nice. Okay. So I do want to acquire the wild token, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'd like to roast these 3. So I'm going to hold on to them. And I don't really need to do any of these immediate effects, but I can place them on the cup effects side of the board. For now, yes, if I get this, I get 2 extra spaces, which is nice. So I'm going to put 1 token here, and a blue token there, and I will acquire this. This is the cardboard tray. You can sort out 2 additional tokens in the tray, and that will be for later when we're pouring our cup. I will also place this green token there and this green token here. I want these 2 squares because they will help us in the brew. Now that we've played our flavor tokens, we will increase the roast level of our beans. And so, let me just make sure I'm understanding this. Increase the roast level of the bean tokens you have drawn. All bean tokens increase by 1. So we will remove these 3 zeros, and we will place them. I'll just place them on the card here and replace them each with 1s. And they go directly into our bag. Now we can increase our roast counter by 3, since we now have a value of 3 within the bag. We want a roast value of 14 at the end. Okay, that's our roasting phase. Now, we can continue. So we will raise the temperature and draw 9 tokens from our bag. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The moisture tokens get removed. And here are our beans. I'm going to place a 0 and a 1 to acquire the wild token. And this will go into our bag. The rest of our beans will be roasted. And so, let's start with our 1. We will put the 1 away and roast it to a 2. Next, of course, we'll raise our counter up, and we will roast our zeros. With 3 ones. And these go into our bag. We increase our counter by 3. 1, 2, 3. And we have a hard bean. This one will roast into a 0. And we'll go into our bag. Okay. Our next turn, we increase the counter. We must take these 2 smoke tokens now. Let me see if there's an explanation for this icon. When you reach a red zone on the thermostat, the roast level increases by 2 levels. This way, even beans with a roast level of 3 can burn. Okay. So now that we're in this red zone, when we roast, the value will increase 2-fold. Okay, and so we are to draw 10 tokens. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. We have 2 bad tokens here, and a nice red token. I'm considering removing these directly. Let's see what the removal effect does. From the tokens you have drawn, remove all burned beans, smoke tokens, and defective beans from the game. Should I do it now or wait? That's the question. Let's do it now. And since this is a multicolored icon, we can use our red token, and we will remove our smoke and defective bean from the game, which leaves us with our current beans. Okay. And so we roast. Our 2 will become a 4 because we're in the red zone. That will go into our bag. We increase our counter by 2. these two ones will become threes. And then go into our bag, and we will increase our counter by 4. Next, our zeros will become 2s. Three 2s go into our bag, and we increase our counter by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The hard bean, despite the fact that we're on a double roast zone, will only go up to a 0. And so it roasts to a 0. And they go into our bag. So now we have a choice. I can continue and move on to the pouring phase, or I do one more round of roasting and hopefully I don't burn any beans. Our current value in the bag is 19, and we want a score of 14 at the end. We do not have this 3, so it will not fill this square later. We also have at least one smoke token in the bag. So I think there's a potential to miss. I'm going to increase the counter and we'll play one more before we move on to the pouring phase. And so we draw 11 tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoops. I grabbed too many. I need just one. I'm shuffling again. There we go. Okay. That's a good selection of beans here. Unfortunately, we did pull our 4, which means it will become burned, which is unfortunate. I believe the cardboard trays are only accessible in the pouring phase. The cup testing phase, yeah. So, I'm hoping that I will be able to put these bad ones, this one will burn, and I can put them in the tray instead of the cup. I'm going to take this blue token and take the honey token and place it in our cup. Let's see what the honey token does for us. Sweetness. The sweetness token is placed on the target space in the cup. With this, the space is occupied and cannot be filled during the cup testing with a token you have drawn. Some coffee cards require the sweetness cup effect for obtaining flavor points. For all other coffee cards, sweetness functions as any flavor token. So it acts as a wild, which is nice. On our card, we have 3 icons on the bottom right: a green, a blue, and a blue. So our sweetness token will take place of one of those, which is nice. I want to save this other blue token because now it's the only other blue token left. And I've already spent, rather foolishly, my green tokens. I'm hoping to draw my wild token during the cup test. So I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to leave the smoke token. And now we're going to roast. So we roast our 4. And it becomes a burnt bean. And that goes into our bag. And we will lose 4 value. 1, 2, 3, 4. We roast our 3. And I'll just grab this one into a 4 and increase our value by 1. We will roast our 2s into 3s and increase our value by 2. The 1 into a 2 and increase by 1. Our 3 zeros into 1s. And we'll increase by 3. 1, 2, 3. Into the bag they go. Okay. This is our final bag because I'm going to move on to the cup testing phase. So, now that the roasting round is finished, we're moving on. Always draw one token after the other out of the cloth bag and decide immediately whether you want to put the token into the cup or into the cardboard tray. If there are no spaces left in the cardboard tray, you must place the token in your cup. Keep doing this until either all 10 oval spaces on the cup testing board are occupied or the cloth bag is empty. We will go top to bottom and left to right. Here we go. And we'll draw one by one. We've drawn a 2. I'll place the 2 in. That feels okay to me. Next. Oh, unfortunate. This is going to have to go into the cardboard tray because it's no good for a coffee. Oh, we have a blue token. That's good for us. We needed this one. So we'll put it in our cup. Next we have some unique spaces here. Let's see what those are. Let's see if it's explained to us in the appendix. Okay, I consulted the rule book, and these 2 spaces only apply if this token is in the cup, which it's not. So we will continue. Next we have 1, which we will take. We'll take the 1. That puts us at 3 total value. Smoke token, that's no good. Into the cardboard tray it goes. Oh, the burnt bean. Also into the tray it goes. We're running out of cardboard tray spaces. 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 spaces. Now my understanding is if I don't fill this space, that's bad. But a 1 isn't great. I'm hesitant about adding it to the cup. I'd rather put in a 2 or a 3. And I can't really remember if there's at least a 1 0 in the bag currently, I think. I'm gonna put it in the tray. Risky. Let's hope we get a higher value. Oh, we have our wild. I'll take it. That means we'll be able to get the full flavor points at the end. That's nice. Come on. The 3. We'll take the 3. And that puts our value at 6. A 4. Very good. Oh, it's a 10. Next, a 3. We're now at 13. Now I'm wishing I didn't toss the 1. Not many tokens left in the bag. Let's see. There's a 1. That puts us at 14. Is that correct? Yes. 1 last token here. Let's hope it's a 0. Ah, we did it. Okay. So, there's our cup. Now let's look at how we score. Determine the total roast level. So let's grab our scorecard and tally up our points. I have a pencil. And so we are tallying our roast points. So 2, 3, 6, 10, 13, 14. So we have 14. Next we have flavor points. Okay, and our card asks us for a green and 2 blues. In this case, we have a wild sweetness, which will be a blue, so that's a blue and another blue. The wild will be a green, so that means we have all 3 of our flavor points. If one flavor token matches the number of flavor points indicated on the card, you score 1 point. For 2 matches, you get 3, and for 3 matches, 6. So we got 3 matches, that's 6 points. And the last section of our scorecard before penalties is skill points. You score additional points for 3 or more bean tokens with the same roast level in the cup. This does not apply to us, so we don't get any points for skill. No skill. And penalty points, which there are none in the cup, so that's also 0. So that gives us a total of 20. Okay, so I've scored a total of 20. That's incorrect. I did that wrong. What I need to do, actually, is consult our coffee card. I scored my roast points incorrectly. So since I scored a 14 roast value, I actually get 10 points, not 14. So we get 10, which means our total score is 16. Okay. Now let's see if it can tell me if that's a good thing. And so we have a final score of 16 on the Sao Paulo, which is good. We got the best possible roast points. We got the best possible flavor points. But we did miss out on skill points. So the score could be higher, but I'm happy with that. This is a nice cup of coffee. Thank you for joining me and learning alongside me. I had a lot of fun. I love this game. I think it's such a cozy little puzzle game. And there are so many other cups of coffee to make. I would be very curious to try a cup that is a little more difficult. Let me look at these light roasts and see. Here's another beginner one. Here's a expert level cup. It has a lot of flavor tokens in the bag. A lot of moisture tokens as well. And if you go over 16, you don't get any points. Or if you're below 11, you don't get any points. Here's a cup from Panama. This one has a wider range of acceptable darkness. But if you go over 18, you get nothing. This one has 4 flavor tokens on it. That's fun. Is there a moderate one in the light roast? I guess not. Let's see if I can find a moderate one. Here's one. The Kilimanjaro AA has 3 defective beans in it. That's rough. But it's a medium roast, so the values are a little higher. I'm excited to play more. Next time we play, we can do what's called a roast challenge. On the scorecard, there are 3 spaces, each in an increasingly darker roast. And depending on your score on the first, you will pick a specific difficulty. So the better you do, the harder it gets. I hope you found this video relaxing. And I'm excited to see you in the next video.